Hey, students, this is lesson 1.8, an introduction to equations. We're going to learn how to solve equations using tables and mental math. Go ahead and do the review here, see if you understand the terms. All right, first of all, we want to learn how to classify equations. Equations can be either true, false, or open. So check out this first equation. If we simplify this side, we get 26. If we simplify this side, we get 25. And saying 26 is equal to 25 is not true. So we're going to say that this equation is false. Okay, second equation, 4 times 11 is 44, and 44 is equal to 44. That is true. So this is a true equation. The last equation has no answer because we don't know what the value of x is right now. So we're going to say that one's open. All right, I'm going to let you try that. All right, identifying solutions of equation. And basically, we are trying to see whether or not a number is a solution of equation. So to do that, all you need to do is substitute the value into the equation and check and see if it's true. If it's true, then the number is a solution. So we're going to take our equation 16 equals 4 times x minus 4 and substitute 5 for x because we're told that x is equal to 5. And then we're just checking to see if it's true. I'll put a question mark there for now and simplify it down, and I see that we get the same thing. So we're going to say, well, we know this is true, so x equals 5 is a solution. All right, you can try that. All right, we're going to learn how to write equations here also. Now, the important thing is not getting the answer here. The important thing is learning how to write an equation. So we want to take the information, the words of the problem, and try and turn them into a more symbolic form. And the parts that we're going to look at here, an art student wants to make a model of a classroom, and the length of the classroom is 2.4 times its width. Right there is an equation. And the length of the classroom, we can represent that whole thing with the variable L. And is an equal sign, and 2.4 times is multiplication, and width we can represent with a W. So we can just write this whole thing out as the length is equal to 2.4 times the width. Okay? And then reading on the problem, it says the length of the student's model is 42 inches. So we are given the length is equal to 42. What should the width of the model be? So now we can substitute in 42 for our length. And so we're just looking for some number multiplied by 2.4 that equals 42. And so now I'm just going to take my answers over here and just try each one. So I'm going to use a calculator here. I'm going to do 2.4 times each number, 17.5, until I find one that works. That equals 42. And if I multiply 2.4 times 17.5, that equals 42. So I know that's my solution. So I'm going to circle that. All right, I'm going to let you try that. All right, using mental math to find solutions. A lot of times equations are real simple. We shouldn't get all bogged down by how we go about solving them. So if you just can figure out the answer in your head, go ahead and do that. So in the first one, we're looking for some number plus 7 that equals 13. And I think you know that 6 plus 7 is 13, so we're just going to say x is 6, and so I'm just going to show that that works because 6 plus 7 is equal to 13. The second problem, we want to know what number divided by 6 equals 12. And from my multiplication facts, I know that 72 divided by 6 is 12, so I'm going to say x is equal to 72, and I'm just going to show that that works. 72 divided by 6 equals 12. Go ahead and try that. Okay, moving on. Another way we can find solutions is just use a table, so we'll try different values until we find one that works. So I made a table with 3 columns here, and I just have some guesses here. Normally you'd have to figure out what numbers to start with, but so if I start with 3.5 and put this into the equation and do so, I'm doing 3.5 times 6 for this first one plus 13. And the value of that is 34. Of course, I'm using a calculator to figure that out. Can't do it in your head. So 3.5 times 7 plus 13, well, that's equal to 37.5. And if you think about what I just did there, I just multiplied by 3.5 by 1 more, which means I'm really just adding another 3.5 to the sum. So you might notice a pattern here eventually. If I multiply 3.5 times 8 plus 13, I get 41. And these numbers are increasing by 3.5. So when x is 9, I'm going to be at 44.5. And I'm going to stop there because we wanted it to equal 44.5. So my solution is x is equal to 9. When x equals 9, 3.5x plus 13 equals 44.5. And if I want to show that work a little bit more, I can. 3.5 times 9 plus 13 equals 44.5. All right, so I'm going to let you try that here. All right, estimating a solution. Sometimes when we're working with a table, we don't get an exact solution, and we don't always need an exact solution. So we're just going to estimate a solution for this. And I'm going to pick some convenient values like 0. 0 is pretty easy to work with, and we can get an idea right away where we're at in this equation. So we want it to equal negative 27. When c is 0, so I plug 0 in here, I get negative 4 times 0, 0 minus 8 is negative 8. So that's not right. Then I'm going to just go up a little bit here, maybe try 2 and see what happens. Negative 4 times 2, that's negative 8. Minus 8 is negative 16. So my values are growing here. Now I can just kind of guess. I want it to equal negative 27, right? So I'm going to jump a little bit. I'm going to go to 5 here. So negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, minus 8 is negative 28. So I just passed it, and if all I need is an estimate, since negative 27 is pretty close to negative 28, I could say my c is about approximately equal to 5. If you want to range a value, we could say c is between 2 and 5. Well, actually 4 and 5. I know it's going to be a little bit less than 5. All right, you can try that. So check your answers there and go ahead and see if you understand what we're doing here by doing this lesson check, and that's where we'll start on the next lesson. I'll see you tomorrow.